Hey guys, welcome to my Samoan language instruction review 1. So today we're going to be reviewing the first 11 videos that we've been working on up to this point. We've learned a lot of different things like the alphabet, pronunciation, numbers, greetings, basic phrases, and we've also learned how to use the scriptures, testify, and pray. So there's a lot of material that we need to work on before we move on to the more advanced portion of this course. The unfortunate thing about this course is there's been a lot of memorization up to this point, but as we go on, I'm going to give you more tools to build your own sentences, and that's going to make it more personal to you. So that's a lot more fulfilling. But we need to get this basic stuff down before we can do that. And so another disadvantage of this course is I'm not here to answer your questions, but there are a lot of advantages to this course. One is it's online, and so you can watch the videos whenever and wherever. And you can go at your own pace, you can stop the videos, and the other thing is it's here before you're going to be in the actual environment that you're preparing for. So if you'd like, you could actually get down some pretty good Samoan before you go to the MTC or you go to a Samoan speaking environment. These videos and this course will help you be a lot better off had you not taken it. All right, so I want you to take advantage of it. And I'm not going to reteach the concepts, but I'm going to give you some questions that I want you to be able to answer before moving on to the next portion of the course. So more likely than not, there's going to be some questions that you know, and there's going to be some questions that you don't know. I'm going to throw some questions at you, and hopefully you get them right. If you don't get them right, then that means you need to go back and review a lot of the videos and work on from there, because what you need to be able to do is recall upon this information in time of need, and that time of need is going to be at the MTC or in Samoa or in a Samoan speaking environment. All right, so I'm going to ask these questions. I'm not going to give you the answers because I want you to go back and I want you to use the videos. I want you to review from the original videos that I've given you. Okay, so the first question is, what does oa mai oi mean? Oa mai oi. Second question is, what would your response in Samoan be to question 1? So if someone came to you and said, oa mai oi, what would you say? All right. What does a whawhewhia mean? A whawhewhia. What is one possible response in Samoan to question 3? So if someone came to you and said, a whawhewhia, what does that mean? All right, and one thing I'm going to teach you really quick about a whawhewhia is there's a different way of saying this question. You could just say wa, you take away that, and like I said before, you can take away the fe too. So sometimes they'll say wa whawhewhia, or sometimes they'll take out that whawhewhia altogether and they'll just say wa. Okay, so wa whawhewhia, wa whawhewhia is the same thing as a whawhewhia or a whawhewhia. Okay? All right, moving on. What does oai lo suafa mean? Oai lo suafa. And what would your response in Samoan be to question 5? So if someone came to you and said oai lo suafa, what would you say back? All right, so I know some of these you might not have gotten, and that's okay. You can go back to the original Greetings 1 video, do some research. That's how language learning is. I know you probably think I'm being unfair to you by not giving you the answer, but a lot of times you'll hear something that you don't know, and you have to go look what that word is, or you need to ask your companion, or you need to ask someone who speaks both English and Samoan, what does that mean? And you need to go and find it yourself. And so I don't want to just spoon feed you here. I want you to have something thrown at you that you might not know, and you have to figure out a way to go figure it out. You have to figure out, what does that mean, or how would I say that? And that's how learning a new language is. It's hard, but this right here I feel like will help you as you prepare to learn a language. Moving on, the next 3 questions in Greetings 1 are, what does yet aluloa mean? Yet aluloa. And what do the following words mean? Alu, susu, yoi, leai, taulanga. And what is the Samoan word for the following? Now, game, field, also, and thanks. All right? So if you have any trouble with any of those 9 questions, then that means you need to go back to Greetings 1 and review. All right? Moving on to Greetings 2, what is the Samoan word for brother? And that's kind of a trick question. And question 2, what is the Samoan word for sister? Same thing, trick question. What is the difference between tolu and toa tolu? So that's something that you need to figure out if you don't know already. And what does a toafia tangata iloa mean? A toafia tangata iloa. 5th question, what would your response in Samoan be to question 4? So if someone said a toafia tangata iloa, how would you respond to them? And the last question on this page is, what is the difference between lo'u and o'u? Lo'u and o'u. All right? So pause the video if I'm going too fast. I definitely am going too fast, so you should be pausing the video after each question and trying to answer them. All right, so what is the difference between lo'u and o'u? We already did that one, so we don't need to do that one again. Okay. So what does oa ni mea e te whiawhia e whai mean? Oa ni mea e te whiawhia e whai. And then question 8 is, what would your response in Samoan be to question 7? So how would you respond to oa ni mea e te whiawhia e whai? All right, and then we need to know what the words whaingaluenga, aonga, su'e, toa lua, and whanau mean. All right, so pause the video and try to figure that out. Moving on, what does the word málamalama mean? What does the word málamalama mean? What does aluifafo mean? Aluifafo. What does o ifafo mean? What does tatala letusi mean? Tatala letusi. What does tatala totusi mean? What does ki le moli mean? Ki le moli. All right, what does phi le tatalo mean? Phi le tatalo. And how would you say, what's the Samoan word for blank in Samoan? So you could throw in like flag, because I put a flag right there. So what is the Samoan word for flag? Okay? All right, moving on. Basic phrases. What is the difference between fia and mana'o? Fia and mana'o. What does olea saumea e fia whai mean? Olea saumea e fia whai. What would your response in Samoan be to question 2? So if someone said, olea saumea e fia whai, how would you respond to that? Question 4, what does olea se mea e te mana'o ai mean? Olea se mea e te mana'o ai mean. And what would your response be in Samoan to question 4? So if someone said, olea se mea e te mana'o ai, how would you respond to them? And the last question is, what does e mawhai ona o te moe I le malai mean? E mawhai ona o te moe I le malai. All right, how would you say I want to eat in Samoan? How would you say I want to eat in Samoan? This right here is a picture of traditional food that they eat in Samoan. There's fish there from the sea. There's fa'i, the bananas. There's a mat there, a fala, and there's coconut cream. We'll get more into the foods and their names later, but just know that this food is very traditional to Samoan. All right, moving on. Basic phrases 2. What does o whea la usoa mean? O whea la usoa. How do you say, where is your tie in Samoan? Where is your tie? What does o lai I tawhatafa o le sami? O lai I tawhatafa o le sami. What does o whea e te susu mai ai mean? O whea e te susu mai ai. What would your response to question 4 be in Samoan? So if someone said, o whea e te susu mai ai, how would you respond? And what is the difference between mato and tato? Mato and tato. All right, moving on. What is one possible way to begin a prayer in Samoan? How do you say I'm grateful for blank in Samoan? How do you say we are grateful for blank in Samoan? What does fe so soani mai ini ia o ngā lue male whilinga mean? Fe so soani mai ini ia o ngā lue male whilinga. What does fe so soani mai ini ia mātou usi usi tai mean? Fe so soani mai ini ia mātou usi usi tai. And how do I say, I ask thee to bless my family in Samoan? I ask thee to bless my family in Samoan. All right, moving on. What does o te iloa mean? O te iloa. And you better be pausing the video after each question here. So, o te iloa, what does that mean? What does e moni le talalale mean? E moni le talalale. What does o ke riso o lo tato fa'aola mean? O ke riso o lo tato fa'aola. How do you say I am thankful for blank in Samoan? What does o le tusi a mamona o lo'iai le blank mean? O le tusi a mamona o lo'iai le blank mean? And what is the Samoan word for restore? Moving on, how do you say, let's read a scripture about baptism in Samoan? What is the Samoan word for spiritual thought? How do you say it's on page blank in Samoan? What is the Samoan word for important or importance? What does o lo'o fa'amatala mai e lenei mau mean? O lo'o fa'amatala mai e lenei mau. What does tangai pe mawhai ona e maua ai blank mean? Tangai pe mawhai ona e maua ai blank. All right, and our final two questions. What is the Samoan word for according? What is the Samoan word for according? And how do you say, what do you think blank means in Samoan? All right, so I hope this video helps, guys. I know there's going to be some questions that you got right. And I probably am guessing that you're going to have some that are wrong. And that's okay. That's what this language is all about. There's going to be a lot of tough concepts that you have to overcome and that you got to go over and over again. Repetition is your best friend to help you retain that information, okay? So go back and rewatch the stuff that you need to help solidify and help really cement that knowledge that you've learned in so that you can recall upon that knowledge in a time of need. So good luck with that, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Tofa soifua.